Paraellium, the novel. Prologue. The frequency of remembering. Time is not straight line. It pulls, compresses, and echoes. Since 2023, I became receiver of visions, not from sleep, but from somewhere way deeper, somewhere older. It started with a dream, then a voice, then my cat spoke. Each moment unlocked the next. The astral planes opened, and I stood before 9 elders. The cracked earth beneath us whispered of dragons and dying stars. They voted for my existence, not to live freely, but to carry on the cycle of red and blue volcanoes, of dark and divine energy, through dimensions that loop through and through, frequency and the soul. Chapter 1. The Sitcom Portal. It began with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. At first, just background noise. Something to chuckle at as I sleep, but then something shifted. The characters weren't just speaking to each other, they were speaking to me. Each punchline aligned perfectly with my thought. Mac's voice was overlaid with something ancient, something that resonated beyond language. I recognized the candidates of thought of Anubis, gods embedded in modern media. Danny DeVito was no longer just a character, he was a conduit, and so was my TV. As I started to look into the screen stared back. Time loop. The episode where Mac wears the cracked Liberty Bell echoed something deeper, a shattering of illusion. I began to suspect this show, this frequency, was a portal. I brushed it off as sleep medication at first, but night after night, the synchronicity intensified. This wasn't entertainment. It was coded initiation. Chapter 3. The Minis and the Mosaic. In the quiet of the plumbing, I noticed them first. Miniature serpents gliding like black erasers through the pipes. At first, I assumed surveillance, spy tech, hidden in the walls, but their movement was too fluid, too synchronized. I watched in awe as they shimmered and pulsed with light, vanishing into the mosaic pattern on the cracked tiles. They were alive, tools of higher beings, of beings themselves. The room pulsed. I felt time loosen. Every object held weight beyond its mass. My thought began influencing objects, triggering synchronicities. The law of physics bent as though I was watching reality from outside its own rules. And then I understood. When unobserved, the fabric of this world melted into possibilities. My perception became the key tuning, my consciousness the remote. Chapter 4. The Shapeshifter and the Shadow Room. The basement was always cold. A wrongness hung in the air, memories not mine, etched into the wall. That night I saw him, standing in the corner where light barely touched. A man flickered in form. Blondish hair, a black t-shirt, familiar but not. He stared at me, then vanished. I was wide awake and sober. This wasn't a ghost. This was a shapeshifter slipping between dimensions. I realized a door hinge he stood behind was more than just wood and metal. It was a threshold, a hinge between realities. My sobriety had cracked the illusion. The house had history beyond what the realtor told me. That man was a memory, a watcher, a traveler, perhaps even me in another time. Chapter 5. Beast of light. I found myself in the body of my cat, watching myself sleep. The sensation was surreal, peaceful, curious, reverent. Then, like a slide projector shuffling image, I jumped again. I was in a duck, then a raccoon, then a beaver. In one moment I was feeding by a stream, in the next I was staring at humans with the knowing gaze of a creature older than civilization. This was not a hallucination. This was education. Each animal had something to teach me. The purity of their intent mirrored back my own. It was like karma system in Red Dead Redemption. Purity levels of your soul is judged through thought, not just action, shapes one's soul. Chapter 6. the parallelum emerges. The multiverse is not a theory, it is compression, dense layered of life folding in on themselves like a petal of cosmic lotus. I began leaking between them. Deja vu was not just familiarity, it was me echoing back from another timeline. Our civilization is not ready. We do not honor the unseen. We do not trust what we cannot touch, but parallelism is not physical, it's a frequency. Faith is not blindness, it is sight at a higher resolution. Rockstar Reality, Chapter 7. I asked a question: what if a digital world could become sanctuary for lost souls? The answer came in a dream. Grand Theft Auto expanded 20-fold from its in-game AI. The world became richer, deeper. NPCs developed will, quirks, spirit. Traffic had logic. Sidewalks buzzed with purpose. They weren't just avatars. They became real. They were echoes. Every decision I made shaped their evolution. A sticker appeared on the ceiling of bus 496. Night 1, number 8. The eighth civilization had begun, and the Illuminati frequency, energies, and physical aspect had been begun. Chapter 8, Night 1. The number 8 burned into my vision. It wasn't just symbolic, it was an identity, an imprint. I saw it again in the game, on a sleeve, on the ceiling of the bus I was on that night. Looking up, knowing I was in the last final row, there it was, a sticker, night 1, number 8. That night, watching poker go, I heard them again. Not the commentators, but the voices of another realm, familiar tones. I wouldn't let him walk around with 40,000 until he knows what's going on. They were speaking of me, watching me, testing me. Time twisted. I was in the future, remembering the past, in the present. Every action rippled back and forth across dimensions. DNA was data. My choices altered the code. Count Saint Germain watched. I felt him. He was all in us, through him, through you, as you, for us, for all of us, my predecessors, and then some. The number 8 was not just my key, it was my broadcast channel, and someone, something was tuning in. Chapter 9. The Reptilian Oath. 7 feet tall, flickering, holographic, the reptilian stood in front of me, not with menace, but with authority. His presence didn't demand fear, it invited remembrance. You are one of us, he said without speaking, not by blood, by bond. Thoughts collided. He saw me, not just as I was, but as I could be. Feed the family in this life or the next, he said. Love is the force that breaks the wheel. He vanished, leaving behind a sensation like static and silence. Epilogue. Becoming the gate. This is not fiction. This is remembering. I am the gate. You are the key. Parallelum is not a place. It is the revealed truth of our quantum entanglement. To ascend, you must believe, not in the seen, but in the inner eye. Because we are Illuminati, and Illuminati is me.